Okay. Take two. Oh, Jesus. I got through this whole damn thing. List of beautiful records I have to show. And rated the last one, the damn battery conks out on me. So here I am again. Sorry. Little rant, now it's out. Coming on to show my, the last bit of my hidden stash that I have, and a couple records that I bought in the last 4 months or so that I really haven't been buying anything. So, a lot of these are some really killer finds that I'm excited to share too. I'm going to try and run through these since I've already talked about them. But first one, if I shut up. Space Debris. Elephant Moon 3 LP set. This is an album. It's one of those albums that you discover, and you're like, yes! And then you realize it's impossible to find. I mean, impossible to find. Oh, I found out about this band probably about 2 years ago. And came upon this album, Elephant Moon, and it was just like, wow. I mean, wow. And then when I tried to find it, sure enough, sold out. Album came out in 2008. Space Debris is a German band. If anything, I'd call them krautrock. That's what they are. They sound like they're straight out of the 70s. A cosmic, psychedelic jam band. All instrumental jams. I mean, we're talking bass, some killer guitar, Fender Rhodes in synthesizer, and drums. You hear what's building up in the background, you know? And this album, like I said, damn hard to come across. And anytime I've seen a copy, like on eBay or Discogs or something, it's just been way too expensive. I mean, we're talking $150, $180, $210. I mean, just between that range, you know. The cheapest I've ever seen is like $140 or $9.99, so $150. But this one I ended up snagging, won it off eBay. I ended up getting it with shipping. It was $84. So that means this is the second most expensive record I've ever bought, but worth it because it's half the price of anything else I've ever seen this album go for. So I am not disappointed at all. I mean, how could I be? Awesome. We're listening to the opening track, Free Spirits. Takes the whole damn side up, 21-minute long jam. And that's just what the whole album is. I mean, awesome jams. Definitely killer shit. And another Space Debris, this is their latest release, came out at the beginning of the year. She's a Temple. I love that cover. This one's mostly live tracks, some live jams, but the same thing. Awesome psychedelic music. Again, like I said, you'd listen to them and swear they're straight out of the 70s, but they are a modern band. Killer German rock going on right there. This one is relatively easy to find. You could go to Green Brain in Europe to find it. That's why I got it anyways. And I ended up, when I got this one in, I bought 2 of them, sent one to Nathan Morales for his birthday. So, you know, that tells you how long I've had that one for, since April. But, you know, like I said, the hidden stash is finally being revealed. Check out some Space Debris. Elephant Moon, if you can find it. Pricey, but worth it. Any of their albums are worth it. I need to get more, but I have no money, so I'm not worried about that right now. You know? These next two come from the wonderful Timmy Stamper. There's been some talk about him on Facebook pages. Tim Guthrie was the first one to show it, and because he loves those killer colored pressings and all that stuff. So first one up is a Timus 23, and this one is ambient music to the max. It's solo, all just Timmy Stamper doing electronics, manipulated electronics and synthesizer. And look at that pressing. Killer pressing. Beautiful. Very, very deep listening, I would call it. All synthesizer. Just heavy stuff. Each song just sort of builds up. Does not let down. Very cool. And the other one is more of a band behind them, and that's Weird Candy, the wonderful Weird Candy. And this pressing is, it looks like a supernova. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. I just love that. When I first saw that, I was like, God, I gotta get that. So I ended up finding them through the help of Mr. Tim Guthrie. Found out they had a Facebook page, and each of these was just $12 with shipping included. So, $12 each. Had to pick them up. Got both of them, and very happy. This one I would call like Indian prog. There's lots of Indian instrumentation. Sitars and four toms. Tablas. Indian chimes, harmonium. All mixed in with bass and guitar and synth and drums. So very cool. Progressive Indian music is how I'd say it, or Indian influenced progressive music, or progressive influenced Indian music. However you want to say it. Awesome. Very, very good stuff. Not your average everyday material. So had to pick that one up, of course. When you get a pressing like that and it's cheap, you get it. This one is an album I've been wanting for years, and I've just not been able to get my hands on it, because anytime I've seen a copy, it's been way too much. Like I'm just, I can't spend that much. We're talking $50, $60, $70. For a single record. I'm like, I can't do that. And the album I'm talking about is Smash and Scatteration, Bill Frisell and Vernon Reid. Awesome. Off of Minor Music out of Germany. Experimental guitar music. That's what I'd have to call it. Bill Frisell, Vernon Reid, two guitar players, and that's all it is. It's guitar, synth, and drum machine. I really enjoy this, but with that being said, came out in '85. A lot of the synth and the drum machines and everything, it's of that era. So when you listen to it, you can tell, it's that '80s sort of gross electronic sound. But then the playing, like with the guitar and the synth guitar and the acoustics, it's so good and interesting and fascinating that it just grabs you. There's one song, Last Nights of Paris, which is, it's banjo and acoustic guitar. It's like, it's one of those songs where they just go in and it's just like they're just plucking and fooling around and doing whatever, and they're laying themselves over the music, and it's just one of those fun songs. You're like, okay, yeah, it's interesting. Or you got another song like Frisell, which has some amazing guitar synth in there. Or Dark Skin, which is a classic Vernon Reid song. His guitar playing on that, it's just like, even if you didn't know what you were listening to and you heard that, you'd be like, okay, yeah, well, that's Vernon Reid. Classic. Very, very excited to get this. I ended up winning it off of eBay. not eBay, Discogs. It was $16 with shipping. So for me, the price was right. Very, very happy that I finally got that album. Been at it for years. Time is a Mountain. Had to pick this bad boy up. YouTube member, wow, I forgot his name. I feel like such an ass. I forgot his name. The Swedish guy. Oh man. I'm sorry. You are. Oh man, you're in my head. I said your name earlier, and now I can't remember, and I feel like an asshole. Oh, his band is Phono. He's on all the time. Wonderful. Oh God, I'm sorry. YouTube member. Fill in the blank. Talked about this band, Time is a Mountain, self-titled release, edition of 300 copies. Awesome Swedish band. Came off the Hatna label. Found a copy on Amazon that was relatively cheap, so I had to pick it up. And I would call this sort of a progressive jazz album, if you would. Trio music. It's a bass guitar, drums, and Fender Rhodes and synth, and just awesome all the way around. Like I said, progressive and jazzy. It's interesting. It's not something you hear every day. So when I looked into them, I had to pick it up. I'm sorry, I can't remember your name. I feel so bad. How do I not? Oh, it's not Jonas. It's not. Oh, sorry, dude. Time is a Mountain. Check them out if you can. Pick it up if you can. Killer stuff. Oh, this next album, Bentwin, picked up 2 copies of it. The fourth line is "You Will." These were actually a trade that I did with a guy in Greece, Costas. He wanted to pick up the Acid Rain album, and he said, "Would you be willing to do a trade?" I have a couple copies of this album, Bentwin, sealed. So I went on, I checked them out, and they're like a late 60s psychedelic band that had one album that they self-released in '69, and then in the '80s came out and did this. I think '85 or '86. I can't remember. But again, another, self-pressed release. It's, I wouldn't call it rare, but it's not an easy find. I'd call it just some psychedelic rock jams. Very, very cool. Singer gets a little bluesy sometimes. I enjoyed it. Always willing to do a trade, so definitely cool to pick these up. Thank you, Costas, if you're watching. Oh, this record has been one that I've been looking for a long, long time, and even though I don't have the money and I shouldn't have picked it up, I did anyways. And the album I'm talking about is the wonderful, wonderful Hermanos, brothers from Vitas Brenner. Look at that gatefold. Awesome. Vitas Brenner, if you don't know him, is sort of a world progressive musician. He mixes a lot of different flavors in. He's from Venezuela. He made 6 or 7 albums between like 73 and 86, I think. His last one came out. Very obscure. Not a lot of people know about him, but I ended up finding about him when I first started collecting records, and this fills in my gap. I have all of his albums now, except for Greatest Hits, release, and a CD that he did that came out in 91 or 92, I think. So very, very cool. Very, very awesome to finally get this one. Had to pay a pretty penny for it. I got it for, with shipping, it was $54. But another record that anytime I ever seen it, it's like $80, $90, $100. So for me, the price was right for this one. Finally filled in this gap. This is his second album, second release. Music-wise, like I said, very, very progressive at its core. But being from Venezuela, he mixes a lot of that like traditional Venezuelan music with, you know, funk and Latin beats, and lots of folk acoustic guitar. I mean, all the way around. I mean, some amazing, amazing music. There are 2 tracks on this one that are almost like just noise experimentation. Like, he got a new synthesizer and he was playing a note and he's like, oh, I like that. Record that. And it's just like a minute and a half. There's like 2 tracks like that. And it's just like, you know, sort of noise. You know, I don't know how else to put it. Sort of like a one-note drone. It's like, okay, whatever. But then you have other songs like Agua Clara, which is the opening track, which is a beautiful folk piece. And he sings on it. Most of the tracks are all instrumental, but he sings on that one. And then other songs like Gavilan and Anna Karina Road, which are funky at their core. Awesome, awesome album. Finally got it. Been hunting this one down for a long time. Shouldn't have bought it, but I'm not regretting that I did. Let's put it that way. Vitas Brenner. Check him out if you guys don't know him. I've talked about him before. Very, very happy got that one. The last one I got to show. Had it for a while, got this the week it came out, and I'm of course talking about the new Acid Mother's Temple. What's this called? The Lost Divine, or what's it? In Search of the Lost Divine Ark. I was so excited when this came out because it's like, oh yeah, it's a gatefold. But then I opened the gatefold up, and there's nothing in it. I was like, wait, what? I feel gypped. You know, and the rest of the album is just gray and black and monotone, very hard to see. But another classic Acid Mother's release. You could have gotten it on some like sky marble blue, almost like an aquamarine color, or black. Of course, I opted for the colored version. Another classic release from Acid Mother's Temple, from Kawabata and crew. Sometimes their stuff gets a little bit, you know, unbearable and it's just noise, but this one definitely has a flow to it. The closing track, In Search of the Lost Divine Ark, is one of those, I mean, it's instantly recognizable as Acid Mother's Temple. That's just how it is. Probably my favorite track on the whole album. Filled all of the side of the vinyl, and it starts out with this almost sort of very Japanese piece and molds itself slowly into this psychedelic freak out. I love when they have songs that do that, but all the way around, killer album. Mostly I'd say it's guitar riff driven, which they do every now and then, but not very often, so you know, very cool. Some of the riffs, it was almost like a Led Zeppelin inspired thing, and then they just freaked out over it. Really enjoyed it. You know, I eat up anything that they set out, so you know, I might be biased, but you know, if you're a fan, pick this one up. Came off of Important Records. Definitely check it out. Oh, see what I was talking about? Not an easy find. Not an easy find. But yes, awesome record. I leave you guys with that. That's the last of my the hidden stash. I do have a couple records I ended up finding at Goodwill. and a bunch of CDs. I've been kind of lucky finding CDs, but I'll be back. I'll make another video eventually. I want to talk about this record right here. Thank you all for watching, and until next time.